Lero bwacha bakamba mu kyalo kyesu kya Zambia ekyaweka enjoy. Abantu baafo bakamba kule mu nfumbwe. More than 20 people balebe pati ni babiri. Bagamba. Fish to arufyanye. People have died. Mumino yabaka pokola. The police killing people. Why? In the same government, bagamba. Abductions have happened. Bagamba. If you're not with them, it's either you're dead or you're in prison. This government, you're going to change big man. Fish to arufyanye bakubika mu office. Fish to arufyanye. Why me? Missing. Achani ruba mwacho and dishonor. Where is why me? Hey church, tell us with your government, where is why me? Give us why me. Justice for why me, big man. Wachila mo hey church. Wala tupwisha bega kutupwisha bagamba. Katwale kya kulanda big man. Why you think? Maana watata. Zambia tuwasevana. Bagamba. Wanesa tuwapweni. Mutala chetu Icha Zambia Tuamona mwempwa Bagao Tuamona mwempwa Nama abductions bagamba Owu muteko tualeta Wadulete lama Amazala mush No yukateka Wala ipompa tudeka No yukateka Apa nomba bane Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Makuvota bane Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Makufuatika Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Makufuatika fuatika Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Wenyu tayakwa fwe Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Aikona man Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Itayakwa fwe Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Yati kwenyu Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Mayona batata Mayona batata Bayuthi Tyentuisuli amenso Tyentuisuli amenso Batusendela nomba batwipaila na hope Yesu Endika chagwa lungu watubela tinani mkwatila plan B Nomba tuwadishiba plan B aba mmino ya kualesa Bantu banga abalafa mucharo chesu cha Zambia Nibanga abantu abala abducted mu kyalo kyesu kya Zambia bambire kuli jeje banda nibanga abantu abala ba prison abena kitotela kilangwa bonze baba prison n'entunguru kina shimbi na shimbi muri one government yagwa ejeje abantu naba famweleza aikata nomba baikata na kuli etika kyagwa lungu atukwatire plan B abakubo byabyo mufulo big man mufulo pa mufulo bilabine batsendela etika kyagwa apa nomba bane mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Makuvota bane Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Makufuatika Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Makufuatika fuatika Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Wenyu tayakwa fwe Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Aikona man Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Itayakwa fwe Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Yakuli yati kwenyu Mufulo pa mufulo HH does not mean well for Mother Zambia. Zambia to Asebana, this is not the Mother Zambia that we were left with by our ancestors, our forefathers who fought so hard to liberate us. Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, Nalumino Mundia, Mama Julia Chikamoneka, Simon Mwansaka Pwepwe, they fought so hard to put this country on the map, to put this country where it is today. No man would destroy this country because we believe in unity. One Zambia, one nation, and we shall together we will change, and we are going to change this government.
It's Wednesday, 8th October in the year of the Lord 2025. Welcome to today's broadcast. Kindly share with your colleagues, share on your platforms. We're live on my page, my other page, profile pages like Smart Eagles, Grindstone, PF pages and others. I'm also on YouTube and I'm also on X. So you can catch us on any of these platforms. Today we are privileged to host someone young people may not know, but is a renowned son of Zambia and son of Africa. He was Member of Parliament for Senga Hill. Senga Hill is a constituency in Mbala. You know, if you've been up north, Mbala, then in Mpulungu, before you reach Mbala, Senga constituency is where it is. He served for 20 years. He was also privileged to have been Minister of Health. Last week, group of leaders under the Zambia We Want conducted various elections. He emerged among the top four. You know, he was contesting Pafikwiriri Finabo, you know, Ernest Mwansa, a renowned lawyer and former MP for Chifunabuli for a long time, Bob Schinga, former MP for Isoka East and Kafue and former UPND Vice President. And my dear sister Ponga, he emerged front runner. Let me just introduce him and bring him forward. A lot of people have missed him. Honorable Kapembwa Simbao, the country has missed you. Where have you been hiding? You just emerged from somewhere and you're leader of the Zambia We Want.
Good evening, viewers, wherever you are watching us from. I've been around, and the reason why maybe somebody would say I was hiding, it was an idea that we give the new administration an opportunity and space to prove themselves. So for that reason, I decided that I'll keep quiet and support them, in fact, so that they don't have any excuse at all if they don't make it in their promises. So that's what has kept me quiet.
I must hasten to say congratulations for your victory in the election of Zambia We Want. You were standing with other illustrious sons of our country. And we're glad that your colleagues have entrusted you with the leadership of the Zambia We Want. Why do you think you were elected?
Yeah, thanks a lot for that. And first of all, I really want to thank and congratulate all the people that, we stood for this position. This showed democracy. We were 5 of us, and of us went through 2 processes. First of all, we had the peer review, where each one of us sold a manifesto to the people. And after that, we conducted an election where no one got a 50+1 to be declared the winner. And so we ended up with a rerun. And on that rerun, there was me and Honorable Ernest Mwansa. And it's from that rerun that I now emerged the winner, the candidate with more votes than my friend. So I want to thank them, first of all, for that matter. Now, how I managed to win this seat, I must admit that, first of all, I've been a very active member of this party. And from where I'm going to say at a later time is that I happen to be the first chairman of the manifesto committee. And I participated heavily in making the manifesto committee. But I was also a member of the Constitution Committee, and I participated very heavily as a member of the Constitution Committee. So my participation in the presidency, I was approached by 3 members of the executive committee, the interim executive committee, that even though I didn't show an indication of being in the president's race, they thought I should think about it and consider it. And they gave a lot of reasons why they thought I could be the right person to lead the party. So that's how I ended up joining in the rest of presidents. It was by virtue of my friends or party members having trust in me, looking at my history of work and politics, that they thought I should be the right candidate to lead the Zambia We Want.
Just walk us through. I hinted on your profile. Maybe let's start with us. Just tell us briefly about yourself, then we delve into the meat of the matter.
Okay. First of all, as you said, my name is Kapembwa Simbao. I am 66 years old, and I'm married, and I have 5 children. I am an engineer by profession. I hold a bachelor's engineering degree. I hold a master's degree in production engineering and management. I'm also about to complete my PhD degree in engineering, production engineering and management. And there are reasons why I've gone that route, because I feel that it's one of the most, or the main missing component to really change the projection of Zambia's progress. I've had all my working experience at Zamefa. And Zamefa, as you know, is a manufacturing company. So I've had all my working experience at Zamefa. I started as an electrical engineer. I went to plant engineer. I became production manager. I became production control manager. I became manager. Now, Zamefa at that time was being run by an American company called Phelps Dodge International Corporation. So they had reserved the 2 top posts for the Americans. That is the general manager and plant manager. But at the time, I was the first plant manager at Zamefa. And to date, after I'd left, they reverted back to Americans. So maybe I could say I'm the only plant manager Zambian at Zamefa. However, when they privatized, they brought in their own person, and they moved me to projects manager because they wanted to modernize Zamefa. They had put aside $2.4 million to modernize Zamefa. So that's how I became projects manager. In politics, I've been a branch secretary for 6 years with the Rwansha branch of the MMD. Then I became a vice district chairman for 5 years. Then I became secretary general of the MMD. But work-wise, I started off as Deputy Minister, Commerce, Trade and Industry. Then I was taken to State House as Presidential Affairs Minister. Then I was brought to Health as Minister Health. Then I was taken to Finance as Deputy Minister Finance. After that 5 years, then I was made Cabinet Minister, Works and Supply. From there, that is under Mr. Mwanawasa. Then Mr. Rupia Banda made me Cabinet Minister, Health. Then Mr. Edgar Chagwalungu made me Cabinet Minister, Transport and Communication. So I've had the opportunity to work under 3 presidents.
Indeed, indeed, and thank you for that rich profile. It's no wonder that your colleagues, despite their experiences as well, I think recognize your leadership, and the opportunity that you bring to the Zambia we want. Now, let's go to the state of the country. You've just hinted that you kept quiet, probably, did other things, but you are no longer quiet. You are back. In your estimation and in your view, what is the state of the country?
In all aspects of the country, the state of the country is very bad. And I'll tell you the aspects I'm considering here. And the very first one I want to tell you is the divisive nature that we have found ourselves in. We are so divided at the moment that it's not even funny. You can see it in the people when you go on the streets. You can see it, how people are moving away from others, how people are scared to talk about who they are. You can see it. You can see people whispering in corners because they don't want to be known where they come from. And certain others are quite loud. And it's quite new. There is so much division in this country. I've never seen it in my life. It's the first time I'm seeing this. And I don't know, maybe it could be that, maybe it could be that it was there. I never just used to see it. But definitely now, I think I see it. And as far as I'm concerned, this is the first time this kind of division amongst ourselves is happening. I grew up on the Copper Belt. There was nothing. We never used to know who it is, who is who. All we wanted was, let's play, let's work. That was the language there. Today, that's not the language. Today, people are separated. They are completely, there's a dividing line. This somehow must be worked on. And as the Zambia we want, this is one item we have identified, which if we continue with this country will go nowhere, completely nowhere. In any aspect, this country will go nowhere. So we are hoping that
before you go any further,
like
Honorable Simbao, you've raised a fundamental matter, a matter of concern that the presidency, this current president, President Hakainde Hichilema, has engaged, I think, in a divisive manner through his appointments and through his dismissals. Many people are saying the country is divided. And it's strange because the UPND came on a platform that President Edgar Lungu was, among other things, that he was practicing tribalism. And they seem to be practicing tribalism in reverse order, even reloaded than before. But President Hakainde Hichilema's public posture has been that he's fighting tribalism. It's the reason he has introduced cyber crimes and, outlawed hate speech to the extent that you can go in for 25 years if you discuss tribal and tribal matters. And it's like this law has been created as a cover not to point out this tribalism. You saved President Mwanawasa, who was accused of tribalism. There was even a family tree that was done by one of the old newspapers, Ichengelo. You saved President Rupia Banda and others. You've saved 3 presidents. And yet you are saying the extent of tribalism is worrying in this government. What do you think is different?
Yes, what is different, the way I see it, is that the head, who is the president, has tolerated this wherever it's happening. He has tolerated it. It's like he's supporting it. He's encouraging it, which was not the case with the others. The others, if they didn't make the proper appointments, it's just because they couldn't find the people. You can go back and look at it. It is very difficult to find the people, especially if you want to get people from a region where they are so much opposed towards you. I worked under President Mwanawasa, and as far as I was concerned, he was very close to, say, Southern Province. One time we went to Namwala, where his father used to own shops. And you can see that the people there, they didn't receive him in the manner that they should have, because the family was very well established there at one time. So what I'm saying is this. Yes, people might have felt that maybe the other previous presidents, practiced tribalism, but it was not seen, it was not visible. You couldn't feel it, So meaning, it was not encouraged. It was suppressed. Even if it had been there, it was suppressed. Now it's not the case. Now it's wide open. You can see it. You can feel it. I mean, you feel so bad that you're not coming from a certain region. And there've been cases where we've been reading where they say, if you can't speak this language, I'm sorry, I'm not going to attend to you. But how do you start speaking a language which is not your mother tongue, or you've never learnt it? And somebody who is in position, control position, tells you, unless you speak this language, I'm not going to attend to you. I mean, how? Such things never happened under these other presidents. And that's where the difference is. Today, almost every appointment is only coming from one tribe. Almost. Such that even the other tribes from the same so-called region, they are beginning to complain. Because even them, they haven't gotten the enjoyment or whatever part they expected to take. And that's where the difference lies right now. It's very different from the way it was practiced by other presidents. Other presidents were shy. You know, they were shy to hear that maybe they're a tribe, but they were shy. But not this administration. It's not. And upon doing it as if they haven't heard the complaints from people that, you know, were being suppressed or whatever, ignored, or whatever is the case, the word they're using. Everywhere you go, that's a cry. And we have heard some excuses that, well, they're trying to balance the things, but oh my goodness me, look at everyone on top, everywhere. There's no balancing. It's just one tribe. What kind of balancing is that? So that's the difference between this administration and the past administrations. I come from Umbala, and let me tell you this, Ambassador Mwamba. I took over from Honorable Chitala, who also comes from Umbala. Honorable Chitala took over from Honorable Sirwamba, who also comes from Umbala. But look, who appointed me, or who appointed the Chitala? It's Mwanawasa. Mwanawasa didn't come from Umbala, or whatever. Look at the administration today. Look who is there. And that's where the difference lies. Why is this administration so scared of appointing other tribes in their administration? Why are they so scared? Mwanawasa appointed me. I am not Lenje or Tonga. I am Lungu. He brought me in. He brought Chitala the same thing. He brought Swamba the same thing. So there you are, Ambassador. That's the difference between the past administrations and this one. This one makes you know who you are. And it wasn't happening like that.
The UPND, their Minister of Commerce, Chipoka Mlenga, went very strongly on this matter in on Sunday interview on ZNBC just the other day. And he claimed that in fact, the Bemba group was the largest in cabinet. He cited himself, he cited his dear brother, Pokabuse, Minister of Mines, he cited the Vice President, and he cited other ministers such as Elvis Nkando, and said we are actually the largest. And he claimed that the Tongas were actually the smallest tribe in cabinet. But of course, he wasn't going to what you are talking about. If you go to other heads like permanent secretaries, like heads, service chiefs, heads of state-owned enterprises, the issue of a tribe is really concerning. Does your party have a special way in which they will deal with this to unite the country?
Yeah, first let me say this, that you see, in every business, there are things you call window dressers. And window dressers speak the most, because basically, those become like the front. Those are the things that people see, and then trying to imagine what is inside. So when you are a window dresser, you are better off just doing what you are there for than trying to really claim what is inside, which is not the correct thing. So I'm glad if my brother, Chipoka Mulenga, feels that way. I'm glad. It's good. And yes, there will be a few people that will feel like that, but there are very few. The rest don't feel like that. And that's where the meat lies. It's what the rest think that people should always look at, not what the few think. So yes, if my brother thinks like that, very good. But he must just know that's not what the rest are thinking. So maybe he must reconsider the position, maybe. If he doesn't want to, that's fine. For us, first and foremost, right now in our party, the Zambia we want. We want all Zambians that want to be Zambians first to be our members. And we know there are some, even from Southern Province, they are there. There are some people who have quit their positions because of the way they want to be appointed. And they have refused. So we know. We want all those people who want to unite Zambia to be amongst us. It will be a shameful lot if we can end up in the situation where our friends are right now. It will be a shameful lot. This must stop. I don't understand how we can still having a problem of tribalism or whatever division amongst us this time in Zambia. I don't understand it. And you see, unless we unite, we become one, we're not going to make any progress. And a good example is America. And that is a combination of so many races or languages or whatever. But when they are Americans and they are proud about it. Here, we want to be proud to be Mambwe or to be Bemba or to be, and they're even showing off. It's not helping us. It's not taking us anywhere. These people must realize that the frustration they are passing on to others will take time to move it out of those. And they must also know that people are just human beings. And if we don't have properly stable people in mind, when things change, they are going to do the same, which would be terrible. It won't be the way. And that's why we want to stand in. As the Zambia we want to stop this. So, for us, everyone is welcome. We are going to pick people on merit. Now, on merit, we're not going to say that, okay, this job will be from this area, the same area, because these people, they have the merit for the job. No. Once you assign a job to one section, surely there should be other people deserving in the other side. Surely. Even if they might not be as good, people will become good once you give them the responsibility. So there's no way you can just be filling in the same people everywhere. No. There are also good people elsewhere, and they are there, for sure. So for us, that's the way we are going to approach this. And that's how we shall solve this problem.
I cut you short because you had raised a sensitive matter, and I thought we could
that would be too
just
much
give
details.
I thought we could just give it some time for you to, speak to it. You were defining the state of the country. So other than the division, what are the other aspects that concern you, that concern the Zambia we want?
Yes. Now, as you know, first of all, there are many, so I'll count them. There's poverty, there's hunger, which is different from poverty. There's the economy itself, which is in shambles. And there's the problem of energy, which is, it's getting people, they are going mad. People are going mad. This is not how much they expected this to be. And now people have just run out of what to say or do. This thing is destroying the economy completely. So let me start with hunger. First of all, Ambassador Mwamba, you know that if there is any country in Central Africa or Southern Africa that must not be suffering from hunger, it is this country. And I'll tell you why. We have got 40 million hectares of arable land. Now, for people to compare what I'm talking about, the whole of Zambia is 75 million hectares, the whole of Zambia. So 40 million of that is arable land. You can grow anything on that land. And you know how much we are using at the moment? Only 1.5 million hectares. Only 1.5 from 40 million. What else can you say? Where is the government? Where is the leadership? If we put in effort in agriculture, and even maybe imagine if we just doubled to 3 million hectares. We are boasting getting 3 million metric tons of maize. We'll be getting 6 million metric tons of maize. But take it even to 3 million hectares. What are we going to do with all that maize? So we can supply the whole of Africa. So hunger is not supposed to be something that we should be experiencing. No. An administration that is worth its salt, surely, when they are going into that office, they should say, this is the end of this problem from today. And they should put all the effort required to make sure that this shameful thing comes to an end. And they can do it. And as the Zambia we want is something all of us believe, that the time we go into office, this is one thing we shall tackle head on. And believe me, we're not the only ones who know that we have 40 million hectares of land, arable land. The whole world knows, and the whole world is laughing at us. And surely we can't go on like this. So hunger should be something of the past. No matter what you think of, we have 40% of the water in Southern Africa. 40% of the water is here, the rivers and underground water. So there's no excuse. We have no excuse, not at all. I used to tell somebody that when I worked for Zamefa, the wife of the general manager, an American, told me that Simbao, if Zambia was an American state, it would feed the entire America. Why? Because the leadership there, they know what to do with land. They know what to do with water. We seem not to know. And so hunger should not be part of us. Poverty. You know, poverty has come about because people have nothing to do. You know, when you go on the street and you see those young people, you know, sitting around or doing whatever they are doing, and you say to yourself, is this what they really want? The answer is no. They are stuck. They don't know what to do. If you ask them, what do you want? They will tell you that we want jobs. So why not find them jobs to do? That is the duty of you coming into that office. Why not find them jobs to do? You know, I hear people saying we have made 20,000 or I don't know if it was 50,000 jobs in 4 years. Yes. I mean, look, we are not serious about this thing. We seem not to be seeing the youth on the street. There's about 7 million of them there on the streets. And soon, the country can become so violent, so unstable, because eventually, even the little they are doing won't be there. There are too many. And those responsibilities that is the leadership. But they seem not there. They seem not to see it. And they seem to be boasting about small figures, 5,000 in the budget of people to employ. That is terrible. The Zambia we want to take a different approach. Youths, what is it that you want? They will tell us they want jobs. That is now an instruction to us that none of us must sit comfortably without doing what the youths want. So that's what we shall do, is to get youth to work. And I'll tell you how that can happen. Energy. It's a shame. You know, and really the people that put in a lot in this, if they had to maybe be alive today, they would be shocked with what is happening to this country. You know, we have got 3,800 megawatts installed capacity of power, hydroelectric power. 3,800. We are only generating 1,000 megawatts of power, meaning we are missing out 2,800 of megawatts of power. Well, you can tell me, oh, but there's no water. Oh, but there's no what. I mean, that's a big joke. We have got 4% of the water in southern province, in southern Africa at any one time. And let me tell you this. While we want to use that reason, our neighbors are not talking about that. They are not blaming, if you want, God.
Yeah, thank you. Let me draw your inspiration on that particular matter. Currently, the energy sector, you know, we're saying there's not enough water in the dams. And sadly, the bulk of our dams that produce, you know, the biggest power stations we have in the country are located in an area that is that has been drought prone. If you look at Iteji Dam, you know, it is in southern province. If you look at Victoria, it's in Livingstone. If you look at Kafue Gorge Higher and Kafue Gorge Lower, you look at Kariba itself, both the, you know, the North Bank and the original. The drought impacted the lack of water in the river, and now government says they can't generate enough water. But you're an engineer, actually even pursuing engineering at doctoral level. What should be done? What do you think should be the solution? Yes, we have this power, I mean this water, but we can't seem to get it where we want it to be.
Yeah, Ambassador Mwamba, first of all, I am sure you know where the water, for example, in Zambezi is coming from. It's all coming from northwestern, and part of it, like the Ruanginga River, which comes from Angola, is also in the northern there. That's where the water is coming from. It's not coming from down here in southern province, no. The water comes from there. And there's no shortage of rains up there. So then what happens? You know, we have to plan such that we always have a constant volume of water in our Kariba sanctuary, the lake. We must plan such that we must have people all the time in constant check of what the rain pattern is to maintain that body of water we want in the Kariba. If we don't do that, we just leave it to nature. Yes, there's a lot of wastage of water on the way. And maybe those people, maybe they have the right to. But you see, depending on how it rains, we can say, no, for this time, we're not going to do ABC. Let this water go, it's supposed to be to the lake, because we have a lot of use for it, which will also affect you. I mean, I had a caller today on my radio station from Sesheke, saying that we have no water here because there's been no electricity for a week. So there's been no running water in our homes. Now, that's a shame. So those people can understand. If you say, look, our rain pattern this year has not been good, so we're not going to do these other activities, what we do with our water. We have certain activities that you cannot do without, because we want to maintain the body of water in the Kariba. And that works. And it goes the same to the other rivers like Kafiwe. So there's been no proper thought given to this. That's a problem. There's been no proper thought given to this. It happened like people at one time the Kariba can dry if we don't take care of it. Look, it's like fish. I mean, we've run almost out of fish in this country. Why? Because of overfishing. And no one wants to control it properly, so that we still have a lot of fish in the country. So people are allowing them to do anything even when they know it shouldn't be happening. So it's just, if you maintain proper control, you always have a lot of it. Now, with the water, it's a serious thing. We are now grappling with electricity because we didn't take care of this. And that's one thing. Let me tell you this. Some of the stations, they are not telling us. We know the infrastructure is old. The old infrastructure won't work as good as a new infrastructure. You can always get something better out of something you refurbish. You can always get something better. But if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to take care of the infrastructure, you know, the transmission lines, the substations, all these things, if you don't want to take care of them, you know, they grow a lot of resistance and all that stuff. If you don't want to do that, you're not going to have optimum operation. And these are the areas that have been ignored. We still have room to improve this generation. Mind you, Ambassador Mwamba, the peak demand in this country is only 2,400 million megawatts. That's all. We have got 3,800 megawatts installed. Meaning, at your peak, if you have the maximum installed capacity, you have 1,400 megawatts that you don't know what to do with. Or you can export. And by the way, while on that one, look, the export market for power is huge, big. We have the opportunity to capture all of it. And how? I'll tell you. The northern region alone has potential for generation of 1,340 megawatts of hydropower. The northern region alone. And you know, we have a lot of sunshine in this country. We can generate as much as maybe 5,000 megawatts of solar. And while I'm on that, the Zambia We Want wants to try a novel idea. We want not to leave it to the individuals. We want to create a company that will install solar on all the houses. And they will be accessing that power through a meter, just like they access the power through ZESCO. But this one, because it's being come in by the sun, it will be cheaper. So the chances are that that one will be more attractive than the power from ZESCO. And ZESCO then can do whatever they want to do with their power, as these people control their solar energy that they are generating at their homes. And we shall do it such that they can sell the power back to ZESCO, because they might not need all of it. And we are not going to limit it. We shall install 3-phase inverters so that those who want 3-phase supply, they have it. Single-phase inverters, those who want single-phase inverters, have it. And that's what a government must be doing. Not saying go and buy solar and all that. It's so expensive. If you have to buy it as an individual, very few people can manage to put proper solar at their homes. But if you take it as a government responsibility, we do it like we have done with ZESCO, then everyone will have, and they will pay for it. So
just listen to government's defense why we don't have power and their hope of how we are going to have power.
So we urge our citizens that they remain calm. We can see light at the end of the tunnel, and that tunnel is now becoming shorter by the day. As we speak, we now have unprecedented rains in the last maybe 2 decades. And with those rains, yesterday Cabinet was informed that load shedding is likely to begin to diminish by June 2025. This is because the major water catchment areas of northwestern province into the Barotse, plains, and now also the Kafue, flood plains. Water takes 3 months journey to move from Kaleni Hills, from Chavuma, into Victoria Falls, into Kariba. 3 solid months. Water moves very slowly in the plains because it's flat. This water which you see when it rains here in Lusaka, we are going for work at ZNBC. Then you find that water is running fast. It's here in Lusaka. But the water needed to change the electricity situation or the water level situation in the Kariba or Kafue Gorge, upper and lower, or Iteji, moves very slow because once it gets to the plains are flat, so water velocity for overland flow of water is reduced. And that is why the experts have said they have not yet done a full measure because they are waiting for the water. But their projections from their readings at their reading stations in Chavuma and Victoria Falls, and I think there's one in somewhere in the Western Province, indicates an exponential rise in water, but they are not yet speaking with certainty because they believe in empirical data.
I'm also aware of the electricity problems that Zambia is facing. But despite the problems that we have with the supply of electricity in Zambia, you still supply us with electricity. Again, you would have said, we cannot sacrifice our power when we have shortage. But you still give us. Katima Mlilo town, where I come from here, is supplied with power from Zambia. When you have a power outage here, we also have power outage. But that's the brotherhood we are talking about, the neighborhood we're talking about. And we should only be grateful and...
Honorable Simbao, when you hear the excuses of government, there the minister, chief government spokesperson, was stating that we have unprecedented water in 2024-2025 season, and load shedding going beyond June 2025 should be a thing of the past. And then I played the other clip confirming that government has not stopped the power exports. Yet Zambia is facing one of the worst load shedding crises, where our people can only have power for 3 hours, 2 to 5 hours to 6 hours. Even when they announce that there is power for 10 hours in our high density areas, it's not true, because our people even in those areas keep on telling us that the last time we had power was maybe the other day or 2 days ago. Government has not been forthright with the power crisis. First, it's been exporting. Just the other day, they issued a statement that they have now reduced power export from 480 megawatts to now just under about 120 megawatts. Confirming what we have been stating all along, that they were engaged in massive power exports. 400, 500 megawatts is such a huge number. It can feed cities and industrial centers like Lusaka, Kitwendola, Livingstone. But yet the country was subjected to this painful load shedding that has affected the economy. And then the minister says, no, cabinet has just discussed load shedding beyond June 2025 will be a thing of the past, because the experts are telling us we have enough rain, yet we are still suffering the load shedding. What do you say? What is your view in light of this information and misinformation that the state has engaged in?
Yeah. First of all, it's very sad that the minister of that intelligence, of course, he has to eat back his words, because this is now October. And in October, today I was on a radio station. Somebody told me that they're only having 3 hours to 2 hours of power a day. And yet I remember the other minister, who is now the Minister of Energy, he was on TV arguing that all these companies are receiving 15 hours of electricity. And today I was on the radio station, and somebody says, I live in Mrs. I'm only receiving 2 to 3 hours of power. Now, going by what the spokesperson of government said, first of all, I think people must understand that certain things are given to him. He's not the Minister of Energy. He's not. So he is given to make these announcements, which he believes the people telling him are telling him the truth, and yet the people telling him are telling him mainly out of fear. They fear for their jobs. So they try to buy time by telling the person that no, things are okay now. It's true. He's got some things in the statement true. And I told you that we can't be complaining about water, because this water comes from Northwestern. And yes, it's true, it takes about 3 months. But why do we have dams? We have dams because they are buffers. And that's where we have to be careful. A buffer always must have some volume. That is like normal. And you normally should use the excess. And in Kariba, as you know, Chirundu, I believe, they do open those spillway gates once the volume is too much. But your buffer must always be there so that you don't run into a problem. So when the water is coming, 3 months, already there should be water in the Kariba Dam to continue production. And so it's true, if you run dry your dam, yes, for you to bring it up, it will take maybe 3 months and it should come up. And you see, I've heard now that no, we need 6 years to come to the levels of the Kariba. It's not true. We don't need 6 years. It's like we're starting the Kariba fresh, which is not true. We've already got water in there. Even if you were just filling it from the beginning, you don't need 6 years. You probably need a year or 2. So all that is just excuses, because I think this is the problem that has really vexed the administration. Because I remember one clip where the president was sitting with 2 journalists and saying load shedding is a thing of the past. And the lady journalist did not believe it. So he told her, you don't believe it? That is true. We have ended load shedding. And oh my goodness me, there's never been a single day when any home in Zambia has not experienced load shedding, not even one day. So the minister made that statement, and unfortunately, it was rebuffed by that gentleman from Namibia. It was rebuffed. He said, well, we get power from you, and if you have load shedding or you have failure in your system, then we're affected. Meaning, they are not normally affected. Normally, they don't have load shedding. It's just that we have a failure of the equipment somewhere that we cut them off, and we tell them that, look, we have this problem, we have to fix it, so you won't have power. But the load shedding we are facing ourselves here, they don't have it. And he has made it very clear. So really, on this issue, is very poor management of the energy sector by government. And if we allow it, they'll continue like this. We need, as Zambians, to say, Zambians, we want power. Whatever is the case, that's why you are there in administration. We want power. We want to do things. I had another caller today saying, I think from Serenje, saying that, look, our shops are closed. I'm a boiler maker. I weld things. I can't because I haven't had power for 2 weeks. Think of that. I mean, and you're in government and you're happy and you're telling people stories that are not on the ground. It is not right. You know, for once, even if things are hard, for once you can be factual. You can even say, but gentlemen or ladies, we have failed. On this one, we have failed. Can you help us? What should we do? At least you can say that. You can tell people that. But you don't want to accept. You just want to say everything is well, I'm doing well. Well, you are not. It's you that thinks like that. But the rest of the country, no. However, I must say this, and it's important to say this. I hear there's a certain region of the country where they have no load shedding. I hear so. I've been told by people living in that area that we don't experience any load shedding. And you wonder and say, but are we in the same country? Now, if that is true, and I hope the president can hear this, if that is true, it's very bad. You are so segregative as an administration.
Honorable Kapembwa Simbao, on this platform, there have been calls, people alleging that there is no load shedding in Southern Province. And when it is there, it's usually just for a few hours, not what the country has been facing the last few 2-3 years. I have challenged people who are resident, who should be patriotic, if it is true. And if it were true that one region of the country has been spared from load shedding, this will be one of the biggest scandals. That means we'll be practicing tribalism, even in the provision of services to our country. Another one said, look, you are talking about CDF, that it hasn't been released. I think there was one time when Honorable Nyurenda from Lundazi was complaining about CDF, that money was not being released, and she was also condemning the process in which government treasury had mopped up all the CDF funds and said you only apply for it from Bank of Zambia or from your bank when your project is ready. Then there was a debate that no, for the MPs in Southern Province, their CDF is being released on time. Again, that would constitute tribalism. To members of the public, these strong allegations, these two that Honorable Kapembwa Simbao has cited and the one I've cited on CDF, if it is true, help us with confirmed, verified information, because it would constitute, again, one of the biggest scandals.
Yeah, well, like I said, if this is true, then it's very sad. Very, very sad. So once it's confirmed, I think this kind of thing must be stopped. If we have to have load shedding, it must affect everyone. There should be no special people. So whatever could be the reason, we have to balance it so that we don't have this kind of talk in the country. Because no matter how you explain it, people will look at it different. So the best thing to do is to even out things. That's what you do. Unless you are saying, well, we are starting with this region, then next month it will be like that, and people see you progressing like that, they won't talk because they can see your plan and it's working. But not where there isn't such kind of a plan. No, we have to stop this. Now, I want to leave this and go to the other part as the Zambia we want. As the Zambia we want, we feel that, first of all, people must tell us what they want. And we believe that what people say they want, that is what is important in their life at that time. And that's what we should do. Right now, Zambians want to mine gold. They don't have a job in towns or wherever in villages, but they are finding a little money in mining gold, which is there. It's not even underground. As the Zambia we want to give them that opportunity. There is no reason why we should bring in an outside company or a big company to set up to mine gold. There is no reason. That is alluvial gold. They just pick up the sand and separate it. Why should we have a big company doing it? Why should we have big business people doing it? We want our young people who have nothing to do, who are willing to go in the bush and do that, to do it, so that we can enter into an agreement that will be your customer. You get the gold, you sell to us. And we buy it at a good price. We don't cheat them or take them for a ride, because we need to encourage them that this is the way to go as we as a government think about this. How else we can generate work for you. But also, as a Zambia we want to come up with another way of thinking. For example, we've been mining copper in this country for years, and Zambians have just been workers. We want to tell the Zambians that if you think you can run a mine, we are ready to organize financing for you to buy that mine. As long as you understand that if you fail, you go to prison. Because this money is not free. It has to be paid. We'll help you by financing it. We have a lot of experienced Zambians who have stock markets and banks and all that. So we have the caliber to arrange for this kind of financing. We have it. And we have caliber of people in Zambia who can run mines at all levels. So why can't we give them the opportunity if they say that's what we want to do? So we as the Zambia we want, that's one thing we want to experiment with. There is no way you can have a country where all businesses are run by outsiders. There's no way. Even today, unfortunately, and I don't want to talk against my fellow blacks as such, or non-Zambians, but in this case I'm talking about Africans. In Lusaka today, the little shops around dotted all over, they are not owned by Zambians. Zambians are the people you find at the counter, but the owners are different. Even such a small thing, we have to change this kind of narration. We can't go on like this. And we know why this is happening, because the government is detached from the... We want to attach ourselves to the people. We want the people to tell us that from now on, this business, we want to run it. And we'll give them the opportunity. It has happened in South Korea. It has happened elsewhere in Singapore, Malaysia. It has happened. You go to China, the people running business there are Chinese. And the reason, the government is in the forefront of that. The government wants their people to do that business. So they help them. They arrange financing. In this country, we don't have anywhere Zambian can go and get a loan. They won't give you that big money. They will give you maybe 20,000. What can you do with 20,000? Because we don't have our own bank. We need to start a Zambian bank, like Zanaco used to be, run by Zambians. We have a lot of experienced bankers in this country. A Zambian bank where somebody like us as government can arrange financing for whoever has a good idea to run a business. So that's what we would like as Zambia we want to do for Zambia. We have to see that in the next, God willing that we are in power, in the next 5 to 10 years, things have completely changed. We shall have a lot of respect from everyone else if we as Zambians start running business in this country. It's amazing that everything we have, chain shops, chain stores, whatever you think of, there is no Zambian participation in that business. Everything is owned by outsiders. Surely we can't just keep on talking about this. And we want to tell the Zambian people that here is the opportunity. We have a manifesto and we have a constitution. The manifesto is the contract between the Zambian and us. And we are saying that if we can't work according to the manifesto, look, we will not even ask that you keep us in place. No. I mean, we are people with shame. We can see that this is not going to happen. Let other people try. And I want to say this. Zambians should not be in the habit of maintaining an administration that is not performing. They shouldn't be. They shouldn't get tired of trying administrations. One day the correct administration will come in power. And I want to say this. It happened in England. England being the first country to industrialize. 1688, they got rid of the king as the, authority in England and elected a parliament. And parliament had a lot of power. And that was the change that was necessary. So don't be scared or tired of changing. One time you are going to have the right in place. We are offering ourselves as that opportunity. So we are saying to Zambia, for once, can you have a government that this is what you want and they commit to that you want? Not giving you what you don't want. Like, for example, Bill 7. Why should they give you Bill 7 when you don't want it? You haven't asked for it. I'm just giving an example. So for the Zambia we want, and that's why we have this name, we'll listen to you. We'll hear what you want. And that's where we shall direct our energy, not to anything else. Unless we do what you want and we do it well, then we shall do other things that we think must be added to what you people want. But we know that with 20 million people, surely you cannot run out of a job to do as a government. Surely you have so many things that you would want to see happen for you. So that's where we are leading to as a Zambia we want.
Wonderful. Before I open phone lines, and dear colleagues, dear viewers, you'll be able to join us by calling the number that is allocated there, that's listed down there, 0973-078082 on WhatsApp. Reach us on that number. Honorable Simbao, do you have mandate? You are in an ecosystem where there is the opposition. There's been caused by Zambians that you, the opposition, you know what the crisis we are in, that there's an opportunity to correct the crisis. This leadership that was voted in 2021, it came in with a landslide majority. It created hope for many people. But there's a litany of broken promises, failures, corruption, and the emerging dictatorship where we've enacted very, very, oppressive laws to silence our people. So the Zambian people are looking up to you, the opposition, to provide this solution, to be the solution. Has your party given you mandate to go out there, meet your fellow members of the opposition, unite? There is a matter that emerged today when our dear sister from Chiengi, Given Katutamwelwa, Honorable Given Katutamwelwa, announced that she will stand as a president, as an independent, and there was an immediate reaction from State House that independents are not allowed in Zambia, and all of us were shocked that State House could say that, because following the amendment of the Constitution in 2016, a clause was removed, the one that said a candidate must be sponsored by a political party. In effect, the Constitution in 2016 allowed for independent candidates. We haven't had any so far, because I think maybe people think independent candidates are not available. I'm asking these two questions as a rider, because the pressure President Hakainde Hichilema must put on the opposition, trying to debar the PF, trying to debar the late President Edgar Lungu, trying to oppress the opposition, was on the understanding that when politicians are, political parties are diminished, then they probably, not have a good chance and you'll be the biggest man standing in 2026. Now there's even an opportunity for independence. And Zambians are saying, all of you in the opposition, whether those aspiring to be independent or those leading political parties, must come together and, if possible, give us a unified candidate. What are the thoughts from the Zambia We Want, and what are your instructions from the conference?
Yeah, thanks a lot for that question, and it's a very, very important question. First of all, people must understand that when we say opposition, we're actually just referring to one entity. There is the opposition and there's the ruling party. Everyone else in the opposition surely should just be the same, surely. We encourage parties because we have to fight a very strong power. That's the ruling party. And you see, things are not as rosy as they are in the ruling side. Because a lot of people, for whatever reason, and this is the issue of money, a lot of people tend to gravitate towards the ruling party. And unfortunately, this is what we have taught our Zambian people to do, unfortunately. Something that we would like to get out. Elections must not be about money. It shouldn't be. And Singapore did it. They have eliminated money out of politics. And equally, it would be a good idea to do that. And maybe I shouldn't go into detail in that. Let me come back to your question. The Zambia we want is very clear about uniting the opposition. Listen to clause 81 of our constitution. Clause 81 of our constitution. It says, where is it? Sorry. It says, the party may enter into alliances with other political parties on such terms and conditions as shall be determined by the National Leadership Council. That's our highest body in the party. So the party is for alliances. But obviously, it will be determined by the NLC. We call it the NLC. Listen to the second subsection. In the event that the party is into an alliance, the party may, through a decision of the National Leadership Council, resolve to support a presidential candidate and or a running mate from another political party for any election for president or vice president of the Republic of Zambia. My party, where I'm the president, we are open to support anyone else who comes up best candidate amongst us. We are open. We are not going to insist, as the Zambia we want, that it has to be Simbao. No. We are ready to support someone else. Of course, it will be difficult because we have to bring together our manifestos, which is what they are already working on. They are trying to see how can manifestos come together so that we don't have a problem where we say because we are Zambia we want, we are this issue and we have a problem with it if you don't go along with us like that. Already there is a body that is sitting down to see how can we amalgamate, bring together this. So the biggest point is this. We believe in alliances and we believe that Kapembwa Simbao might not be the best candidate. Someone else might be the best candidate. And that's the best candidate we shall support. So we have no problem with that. And we hope our friends can come to the same decision. Because the fight, whether we like it or not, is between opposition and the ruling party. It's not between opposition and opposition. No, it's not. But to win this battle, we should go and mop up everyone. And we can only do that if all the opposition parties get active and go out there and form structures and, create foot soldiers. then we can be very positive that once we come in, we can win this race. So basically, we are supporting this issue of alliances. We know what's happening at the moment. There are issues in other alliances, and that is expected, especially if there are two main ambitious people, that is expected. We as the Zambia We Want are not that ambitious. If someone else will turn out to be the best candidate, we'll be very happy to support that candidate. If we happen to be the best, we'll be very happy if we can get the support from our friends.
Thank you very much. The lines are open. The lines are open. You can call and ask Zambia We Want President Mr. Kapembwa Simbao. He's on this platform and he's just given us insights of the political party and the leadership he brings. And I think they have one of the most gracious clauses in their constitution where they allow, formal alliances. And even in the formal alliances, they are saying our candidate may not necessarily be president. They are accepting to be led. They can lead through Kapembwa Simbao, but they also can be led by whoever if there is a better candidate out there. And I like your clarification where you said, look, there are not many opposition. It's just one opposition. All of them is just one family of the opposition and facing the ruling party. I think sometimes that is lost to all of us. So I've got a first caller. Let's begin to take the call and just get your pen and paper. The line is cut, but the guy has called. Please call back. We are now receiving phone calls from you. Let's hear your views. The lines are open. Hello, caller. You are our first caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
My name is Senga Hill, and I'm calling you from Canada.
Mr. Sinyango from Canada, make your contributions.
Yeah. Thank you, Ambassador Mwamba, and thank you for the new elect president for the Zambia We Want. And I've followed all that he's been saying. I appreciate him. My question is this, and I've liked the point that he said he's willing to work with any other leader that the Zambian people are going to bring forth. But my question is this, and it's a question to all these people that are aspiring to be president. If we sit down together as the president for Zambia We Want, have you started sitting down together with these other political leaders that want to lead Zambia? And what is your advice to them in the way that all Zambians are going to say, you know what, this is what we want? What is the roadmap and what is the time frame? Because we don't have enough time to go down to the ground, but we need to also come up with a time frame. So I'm asking the president, Kapembwa Simbao, have you sat down with these other political leaders and do you have a time frame so that we start work? Already we are seeing that this person, no political party in Zambia has held a rally today because everything has been blocked. Zambians cannot demonstrate. Zambians cannot even have public rallies. So what is your time frame? Thank you, sir. And thank you, Ambassador Mwamba.
Thank you very much. That our first caller from Canada and is asking about Danny from Canada is asking about your role in the opposition and what must be done. Maybe let me allow you to answer that question as we are waiting for more callers.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chinyangwe. Thank you for that concern. It's a very serious concern. You have talked about sitting down with others and also the time remaining. Yes, and also the time that is remaining. Those are very serious concerns, Mr. Chinyangwe, and thanks a lot. Sitting down with others, I can tell you right now that they are our administrators, I don't know how to put it, who are right now, like I said, comparing manifestos right now. Once they are done, with that, the presidents will sit down to look at the work that has been done. And I believe that this week they will be done with that work. They've been on it for the last, I think, 1 month. They've been sitting together so that they can see how the manifestos can be put together in a way that is acceptable to all the parties that are involved. So after this, the president will sit down to see how these manifestos read and see if they are acceptable to their parties. When that is done, a decision might be made to see if we can find the flag bearer for what we are saying, the political front. For the Zambia We Want, this has to be approved by the National Leadership Council for the Zambia We Want. So this work that is happening now, I can't say, I don't have that power, by the way. Thanks a lot, Mr. Sinyango. I am not the authority in my party. I am about number 3 or number 4 in my party. The authority is our party, in this case, chairperson. She's a lady, Dr. Ponga. That's the authority in our party. I am not. So we have done this so that we don't create...
The cause are piling up. The cause are piling. Let's take some cause. And I like the structure in Zambia, we want, because you are the presidential candidate, but the most senior person is the national chairperson. Caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Ask Honorable Kapembwa Simbao.
Good evening, Ambassador, and good evening to Honorable Simbao. My name is Nancy, calling from Zambia. I'm very happy that he's on the program today, getting some insight as to who he is. I have known him to have been a minister and MP, but I did not know so much about him as I have heard today. My only call is that as much as we are seeing many people coming out now and voicing out on what they would want to do for Zambia if given the opportunity to lead, I just want to emphasize on the need for the unity amongst the opposition leaders. And also, as you are campaigning to us, we know all the challenges and the difficulties we're experiencing now. What we want to know is how you intend to get us out of it. I look forward to hearing more of the how that you have planned, how you think things should be done to get us out of the economic depression we are in, how you can uplift the lives of the Zambians, how you are going to improve the revenue collection without stifling the few in the formal employment sector and those in the SMEs. How exactly do you intend to create jobs, like you have talked about the youths, so many of them being out of employment? How exactly do you intend to bring about this employment for them? How exactly do you intend to handle our mining sector, which is the main contributor of our GDP? How exactly do you intend to improve our agricultural sector and grow it and diversify it so that it can probably become as much of a contributor to the GDP as the mining sector is? So I look forward to hearing the how from you and your team at Zambia We Want, and I just call that please unite with your fellow opposition leaders. And also on the matter of the tribalism, we need to have candid conversations about it and solutions to it, because what we're going to have is a cycle of tribalism and reverse tribalism. When governments change and they're pulled from a different region, we have 72 tribal groups. We cannot afford to be allowing this cancer to grow. So I really look forward to hearing more from you on this. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that's a caller from the Copper Belt, and they are asking. I've got another caller. Just we wait. Yeah, thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
I've been listening to the president, the Zambia We Want. I think much of the attention must be paid to the organizers of the 2026 elections. This government that is there has been seen and said will do anything to make sure that they remain in government, in power. And obviously you know that ababantu tabaishire mukuteka ekyalo eyo. And in fact, even the landslide that people talk about was facilitated by external hands. And as I speak, I'm looking at in the eyes of Mr. Joe Biden, the former president of America. What he did to Zambia is left a dark cloud over that country. And God will charge him very, very harshly. Take over. The first law they made, the first law I've been a follower, was to make sure that whoever is involved in the cattle rustling faces the charge of motor vehicle theft as enshrined or changes that were made into the laws of Zambia, that they would not be given bail. That is the first thing. A normal president who has been elected by the people with a landslide, the first thing he would do is to appreciate the people that have actually asked him into office. The man doesn't care about the Zambians. The man doesn't, it's like he doesn't even live in Zambia. So, for anyone to think that Akainde Ichilema, he came for something. I can quote Abakalambagamo Bashamfung. Baebere Bumba Diabalmendo by Mukushoko, but Munifo Badita, Batila Imwe, Mwadimu Teko. The more from Madich. Ababa Nenu, no Kuvota could have vota Kudia. Pali Povai Minina. Pali Povai Mina, that's why. You know, abantu bakakile bantu bachibemba n'abakwisteni province imbe babiri batatu eno umuwemba fiwadi bomberefe kumufairisha emilano. That's why I can only appeal to Kuliba President Basimba that in the event that you become president of Zambia, there must be an inquiry into the bad relationship between southern and northern region. Somebody must be able to come and tell us if we still believe it. Where has this problem stemmed from? Yala ikatanumba, yala lafika na kumfua. Yo pantu wa huku chiteni milandu ibe ipakuti abantu bafume. You know, we are facing a very serious problem in that country. And if we are still playing kid gloves in we have the police, we can use them over them if they become funny. Number pantu abantu abengi balachitama politics, but they have no ears to home for.
My dear brother, conclude so that we can take.
PF Natonsa Alliance. I want to speak in a language that everyone listening to this can be able to understand. The Tonsa Alliance, no yona kachinda. tonsa alliance na Nakachinda. Mwaita abantu kutya twapanga alliance. Why should you impose yourselves that yoke mwasa join alomba ifwe nifo tukachana produce president? No. The alliance among us, the presidents that are there should have been the organ to say, okay, guys, let's bring so many people from each party to come and elect our leader. Don't say that, no, because PF is bigger, then we are going to be the anchor. No, it's not about being bigger.
No, let's preserve that question to PF. PF, Mr. Nakachinda is coming on the program. You come and answer him that question. My dear brother, let me take some other calls. Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
My name is Kefas Mwapemsonda. I'm calling you from Kabwe, Central Province. I'm an advocate for industrialization and national development. Good evening, Ambassador Man.
Thank you, Kefas. Make your contributions.
Thank you very much. President Simbao, congratulations for your election to the position of president.
Thank you. You can hear.
Thank you very much. I'm really happy that Simbao has finally gotten the position of presidency. I once met Simbao when he was Secretary General of the MMD. He promised that we were supposed to go together for a by-election in Mansa, and some people accused him that he was actually campaigning for the position of president and not organizing the party. I hope he remembers whilst in Ndola in Kansenshi, Palojava, former Vice President George Kunda. I wish you well on this journey, and you've been so patient and you've really delivered to the services of the Zambian people who have even thought of you now getting that position at the apex of a political party. All we can say is, Simbao, the way you've performed as a member of parliament, deputy minister, cabinet minister, and organizing the party, do it for the betterment of the Zambians and not for a political party. My question to you tonight is, in case that you are given the mandate by your party as well as the Zambian people to rule this country, what four issues are you going to take as an emergency? Because we have heard people while in opposition promising the Zambian people heaven and earth, and when they get into the apex of governance, they U-turn and change direction to say, we never meant that we were going to end, for instance, load shedding within the span of 5 years, and we cannot do it. All we were thinking is that we can do it when time is prolonged. Looking at load shedding, what measures are you going to put in place if elected as president in 2026 for the Republic of Zambia? Bashmakwebo, Baba Shop, saloon operators, they are not operating right now because they are being load shedded. Do you think load shedding, since you served in government, do you think load shedding is a hoax? Fiabu fifie, oko fiaba fiat chinka, nangula tulebe pwa Zambia for the sake of some people to have mileage in 2026. Secondly, you said that food shortages are not supposed to be a story that we can talk about as Zambians. With your party, what is it that you will unpack for the agricultural sector? We've been told that when you deliver maize within 48 hours, you'll be paid. Now it's getting to almost 4 months from the time that a farmer delivered maize. What is it that you do to revamp the industries? You talked about the UK industrialization. What is your plan to revamp the industries that are almost collapsing and going under because they cannot afford to buy private power so that they can produce goods for the betterment of this country? Otherwise, I wish you well, and I hope that I can have time and call you. While you are Secretary General for MMD, continue even picking calls from a commoner, and that will make you become a candidate and even win the 2026 election. I wish you well. Thank you very much, Ambassador, for according me this chance.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you. Maybe I can invite you to answer the 4 questions that have come from Fidelis, and that has come from Kefas, and that has come from, I think, is that Danny? Yeah. Thank you. You are on.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Ambassador Mwamba. I didn't finish answering Mr. Sinyangwe. And his question has also married into Nancy's question. Mr. Sinyangwe and Nancy, concerning the opposition, the message we're hearing people want is that they want us to unite. They don't want people to be separate when we are fighting the same common enemy. If we are fighting the common enemy, we must fight together. We must come together. That's the message we have gotten everywhere. That's what the Zambians want. And we are the Zambia we want. We want to do what the Zambians want. And it was for that reason that in our party, we made it very clear about alliances. Because here we're talking about alliances. That's what we're talking about. So we made it very clear what is our position on what we are asking for. Everywhere we go, churches, NGOs, whatever grouping, they are talking of why don't you unite and maybe do something like what the MMD did in 1991, you know, so that all sorts of people comes in. So we know that. All we are saying is that, look, for example, us, the Zambia we want, we're just a newly born baby. We need to walk. We need to grow muscles. Then we can say, okay, let's come together and fight this. Otherwise, if we just remain a baby, we won't do much. You know, it will be a disservice to our friends who have probably grown muscles that we can work with them. How? So we need to bring ourselves up to that status. Then people can say, yes, now we have a formidable group to do this. So what we are saying is that we're not fighting amongst ourselves. We are there fighting the ruling party. We want to win people to ourselves. We have come in with a manifesto that might be different. That might be different from others.
Yes, you can continue.
Okay, it's just that I can't see myself. Okay, we have come in with a manifesto that may be different from others. And the issue here is that if our manifesto can explain things better, then the others must come into our manifesto. Or we can combine the good from all the manifestos into one and use that to work for the Zambian people. And that's what we're hearing. And we are completely available to that kind of thought. We don't think that we should go it alone completely. We don't think so, unless the others don't want us. If the others don't want us, we have no option but to fight it alone. But all of us must understand, if you are in the opposition, just one. The ruling party, they're also just one. And that's what people should understand. So our fighting should be that it's bringing us to the apex. It's bringing us to one point, all of us. That should be our fighting, so that then we do what we want to do for the Zambian people. So both Mr. Sinyangwe and Nancy, what you have said is what everyone is saying. Mr. Sinyangwe talked about the time frame, and I understand, but please have comfort and trust in the fact that, yes, time can look short, but look, the problems of Zambia have not started this year. The problem of Zambia started even the second year into office of this administration. The people's frustration started then. All they have been looking for is a proper organizer, somebody they can support. That's what they've been looking for. And that doesn't need to take 10 years. They already decided who they don't want. All they are looking for now is who can they put there. So it's not really a question of time. It's a question of being identified as the person that they want. Then everything will just fall in place. There will be no problem at all. So we can't say that we have short of time. No. The Zambian people have decided. The only thing is, can we bring up a good person, a good candidate? Can we bring together good laws, a good constitution, so that the Zambian people, for once, whoever comes into that leadership can be truthful to their expectations? Because that's all that has been missing. I think someone raised it, that people promise, and once they get there, they don't live to that word. I mean, look, this can't continue. You know, this can't continue. This must come to an end. And look, for the Zambia we want, I didn't just want to go into details. For the Zambia we want, we have come in with the thought of recalling a president. If a president is not performing as he should, it must be recalled. Now, that will happen once the Zambia we want is in place. Because the constitution that we're using now doesn't have such things. But our constitution, which we hope that we can make into the national constitution, is trying to take care of all such, things. So that, again, we don't have a president who doesn't want to listen to anyone once they get into power. We really want to make the president responsible as the Zambia we want, because we can't go on like this. Now, Nancy,
Honorable
talk
Simbao,
about the mining sector.
Hold on to the other callers. Let me just take these two. Then we wrap up in this way. You answer all the outstanding and then you give your last remarks. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening, Honorable Simbao, and good evening, my good brother, Emmanuel Mwamba. Let me just call myself TLC.
Okay, TLC.
Yes, I've liked one good thing from Honorable Kapembwa Simbao. And one good thing that I've liked from his deliberation is his transparency and the way he's articulating issues. Now, my question is, I've liked one initiative that can contribute to the reduction of load shedding. That component, Honorable Simbao, my question is, have you tried perhaps to engage the Minister of Energy or the current government and presented that good proposal to the government? And if so, what has been the response? To be honest with you, all we need in this country, all of us that have got ideas of that nature, to bring them to the table, and I'm sure we can sort out a few problems that this country is going through. That is just my question. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I think Tulikumatero. Honorable Simbao, just continue with answering the callers, and then we'll come to a stage where we can then offer your last remarks.
Thank you. Nancy wanted to know the how, and this is the how, Nancy. I did say this. First, all these things need money, first of all. From the mining sector, I want to give you an example. We have been shy to do what other people have been doing to support themselves or the economy of their country. One of them is Chile. Please, you can take a look at Chile. Chile owns one of the biggest mines in the world. It produced last year 1.44 metric tons of copper. Just one mine. We in Zambia here were struggling to even make 1 million. So many mines that we have. Just one mine. And it's 100% government owned. 100%. They even have another one. I think something like a money. But this one particular mine alone, 100% government owned, produces metric tons. Last year, 1.44 metric tons. So why are we to own a mine as a government. Now, what do they do with that money? Let me tell you something. When we make 800,000 metric tons of copper, we get in the range of something like $7 million. If you calculate at 9 something. If you calculate at 10, as a simplest calculation, you get in the range of $8 billion. Out of that money, if you have seen the reports, 12% is what contributes to GDP. If you calculate 12% of the GDP that is for next year, for example, that will only be $1 billion. All the other $7 billion or $6 million goes away. What Chile has done, they produce 1,000,044 metric of tons. All that money, which is about $10 billion, comes into Chile. It goes nowhere else. So they have created a sovereign wealth fund. This sovereign wealth fund is what assists now these other industries, the SMEs, whatever other social things that they need to do. We don't have that because we're getting so little of this money from our mines. They're just leaving the ores in the ground. And believe me, we have reserves so far, non-reserves, of 19 million metric tons of copper. Chile has 200 million metric tons of copper. So not careful, our reserves will soon be wiped out with nothing to point to in this country if we are not careful. So the first step, Nancy, is that we should not be shy. We should own a mine. Now, either government, like Chile has done, or Zambians, like I said. Government can arrange financing arrangements if there are Zambians ready to take up this kind of task. From there, it will cascade to the other things. Because
thank you, Honorable Simbao. Let me just take this call. Let me just take this call, Honorable Simbao. Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, Ambassador Mwamba.
Good evening.
My name is Owen Mugemezulu. I'm calling from Lusaka.
PS.
Yes.
Our permanent secretary. Wonderful, my dear brother. Thank you for listening. For calling. Make your contribution, PS.
Yeah, thank you so much for hosting Honorable Simbao, a veteran of the public service indeed. And may I join others in congratulating him on their very exemplary, very inspirational intra-party democracy, which they displayed over the past 1 week. I just have a simple question. I think in answering one of the questions earlier on, he did indicate that the Zambia We Want party does not believe so much in foreign direct investment. Is he trying to tell us that the economic system that they support is hybrid or socialist or communist? The other question is, Ambassador, I think we are all aware that the UPND at this juncture have lost the support of the Zambian people, and they are very much aware of this, and this is the reason they have resorted to dictatorship. So I would like to know from Honorable Simbao, in terms of what strategy the Zambia We Want is going to employ in the event that the opposition is completely blocked from campaigning. Why am I saying this? Why I'm saying this is because we have seen that the UPND are not interested in listening to everybody. I'll give an example of the issue of the Bill 7. We saw that all major stakeholders, namely the church, the Law Association of Zambia, civil society organizations, and indeed political parties, that said no to Bill 7, but they did not listen. And now they have turned around, they have come up with a technical committee. And from the comments that we're getting from social media, not many people have got confidence in that technical committee. And indeed, the fact that the bill is still before Parliament, one might assume that they already have a predetermined product out of Bill 7. So right now, the political parties are preoccupied with trying to organize themselves. But I think the biggest elephant in the room now is the issue of the attempts to change the constitution, because we do not know what will come out of there, because the political parties might be shocked by the time they organize themselves. UPND will have other strategies. They will not allow them to fully organize and So I just wanted to find out what their strategies are in terms of how to deal with the issue of the dictatorship. And I'm glad that he has elaborated very well on the issue of the tribalism, but what exactly is the stance of the party on the current attempts to amend our constitution? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Former PS of Education, Mgeme Zulu, thank you for that call. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Hello?
Yes, caller.
Hello, Mr. Mamba. In Zambia, it's good evening.
Yes, indeed. Good evening.
Thank you, Honorable Simbao. I think the Zambia We Want has got the Zambian people at heart, and actually, I'm very impressed with their manifesto. They are tackling issues as they are. Now, the first question will go to Mr. Simbao. I think we've seen what has happened to the Constitution. The Constitution has become something like a document where whoever wakes up can alter the Constitution. In terms of protecting the Constitution, what is the strategy that the Zambia We Want has come up so that the future generations of Zambia shouldn't go through the problem that this generation has gone into, where every political party that comes into power will easily change the constitution? And one of them, I think, is the cyber laws. From nowhere, the cyber law has come and it has made most people to go quiet. So I would want a response on that from the Zambia We Want. And then the other thing is that Zambians, they understand the challenges that they've gone into through this period from the time this government came into power. And I think all the well-meaning Zambians, they know what to do. Now, what should we do in order to avoid getting people maybe who don't have so much care for this country in the coming by-elections? What message must we tell the people? Because understandably, the problems that this country is going into today are as a result of poor leadership. The kind of leadership that Zambia needs is a leadership where a community identifies a problem. And then when the community identifies a problem, the community has to also identify a person who can help to sort out that problem which is happening in the community. Now, for example, if I'm representing my community and I don't have water in my community, then I've got there's a project for the borehole. I should understand that if I get to eat this money, my mother won't have water in my community. I think the moment we are going to get to that, Zambia will start developing. The issue of where a candidate stands in an area where he has little information about has brought so much issues in terms of governance to this country. And because of that same strategy, we found that
Bamwewa, kindly wind up. Kindly wind up. We give the guest. Kindly wind up. We give the guest opportunity. Yeah.
The people that are into politics now, my businessmen, because they have easily used money to buy their way to power. And then these people are not leaders. When they get into parliament, they are quiet. Their intention was just to protect their businesses. So we need to get to a level whereby leaders, because for me, what I believe in that leadership comes from God. It's a talent. Just like my brother Yomaps, he can easily compose a song. But for me, I think it's a very hard job to compose a song. Yomaps is talented. So leadership also, leaders are born from God. So we should educate the Zambian on how to get a good leader. What is the strategy? What is the skill? And this is something that we've never taken serious to educate our people to say, what is the importance of voting? What is the power that lies in the voter's card? When you get in the booth, how do you delete that guiltiness when somebody was given a T-shirt, for example, by a political party? So we need to get to a standard whereby we become more and more patriotic to this country and defend this country. Otherwise, Bamwamba, I will not also stop thanking you, because just from the time that you started airing this program, I think the next leader who is going to come into power, if he goes through all these videos that you've done during this period, this country will be better. And I'm just encouraging you that continue working for your country. And also the way you have actually done your content, you've made it easier that anyone can get your content and share. That job that Mr. Mwamba is doing, otherwise, I could imagine if there were people like you, because you brought intelligence for Zambia. And lastly, Mwamba, I want to make a program. Once a favor for Zambia Pantage, and it will that was chance you once ever take a power. So what I can only ask Zambians is that apa peni tuliko tukwete chitaka nemiaka na makeko ya chiti chentuse pamo tufunyeko urubuli so that chichalo chichwale pantanshi. And then the last three Mwamba
bamwape ku Livingstone yawe bamwape ama last year fula mwalanjela ko. Let me take my final last caller and then I'll invite Mr. Simbao to conclude. Hello caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from, and you're our last caller.
Good evening, Bamwamba, Ambassador Bamwamba, Ombashani.
Endita.
Poshana wa President wa Kapembwa Simbao.
Thank you. Make your contributions quickly. Oh, have we lost him? My brother, you've muted yourself. You've muted yourself. Check your phone. Hello, my brother, you've muted yourself.
Hello?
Yes, you had muted yourself. Quickly ask your question.
Yes, I was saying that my question is why in Zambia we keep on forming more political parties instead of these people who are wise joining the other parties and contribute to the better living of Zambians. The second one is that, is there any limit of forming political party in this country of multi-partyism in our countries? The third one is it that it's because of the hypocrisy of our leaders to avoid joining another parties and they opt to go for their own parties? I submit.
Thank you very much. Kanabesa wa Kapembwa Simbao pano chilatiba amafoni tayale ke kanabesa. So let me just invite you to answer those that you can, and to our dear callers, thank you for your enthusiasm and for the continued calls. Please, I ask that we cut the lines. You can contribute through Facebook. Let's allow Honorable Simbao to answer those that he can and offer his last calls. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ambassador Mwamba. Some of these are very important. For example, the agriculture sector. The problem we have with the agriculture sector is that it's not mechanized. You know, if you go to China, you go to India, they used to use hoes like we're using in Zambia. They mechanize that and they change the agriculture completely for the subsistent farmers. Again, it's government. It's not those people. The few that can do it, they have got these cattle drawn plows, but those are very few. You as a government must come in because it's in your interest that you feed people. It's the government's responsibility to feed Zambians. It's not the Zambians to feed government. So for you to achieve that, you need to provide for them so that there is no problem at all for them to, plow the land. So the thing that is going to make a difference, the game changer, is to move subsistent farmers from hoeing to plowing. And that will change everything. And that's what the government must seriously consider and provide. There's nothing like, it's up to you people to do it. No. That's why you're in there as a government. And that will change agriculture forever for this country. You talked about tribalism. I think this is self-evident. I shouldn't talk about this. It's self-evident. It's been hard, even for me. Having worked for such a long time in this country, it's been hard. And it's a disaster that we have reached these levels. I can bring you into something. People used to be so scared that if this government is given the opportunity to rule, we are going to be in trouble. And people used to say it. And some of us used to say no, because we have got very close relations or friends. But my goodness me, what we have witnessed. We hope at least, even if it was going to happen, I hope I'd listened. But I didn't. So I'm the most shocked that this has been the case. So really, tribalism at the moment is self-evident. No one needs even to emphasize on it. We just have to pray and work hard that we break this thing. The gentleman who was so disappointed with issues of cattle rustling and, equating it to motor vehicle theft and all that, this is where you see that the leadership has no ideas. They have no ideas, and here there is self-interest in this thing. It's not that it's a commonly affecting a lot of people. It's some self-interest. There should be other ways to do this, to stop cattle rustling. There should be other ways. I'm sure it's not this common in the US. It's not this common in China. So why can't we understand what others have done so that we stop it here without putting up laws like this that are so bad? I want to say, Peter didn't take your name. The Zambia we want to change the narrative. We're not going to go people for political reasons. We need people to be free in this country. We are going to liberate the cyber law in such a manner that only criminals should be monitored by this law. Not by, for example, a disoriented chap bubbling off his thinking and all that, and you arrest him and throw him in jail. You're not doing anything. You're just praising yourselves. This has to end. And the Zambia we don't want to waste time in this thing. And this is why we have let people go away like this, because we insist so much listening to politics instead of economy. We should have more economy issues spoken in this country than politics. But the opposite is not there. We are so embedded in politics as if that's what we can eat. We have to stop all these bad laws, and people will stop misbehaving. If we say we're not going to do anything to you, even if you say whatever in politics, they'll stop it because no one will be listening to them. But now that we have got this thing, it's very attractive. So we have to really be careful on how we handle this thing. This issue of identifying people as Tongas and Bembas and whatever, it must stop. So really, there is nothing even to say, can we find out what is between us and the Tongas? I believe there's nothing. It's just individuals. It's not all the Tongas. Tongas are very good people, I can tell you this. They are very, very good people. But certain disoriented fellas, they are the problem. And there's nothing you can do about it. First of all, you just have to allow them to be what they are. If they are able to listen, They can think through. They go to church. They go to other organizations. They can think through and see that this business of staying as Bemba does not make sense. But those are few disoriented fellas. We shouldn't generalize it. No, we're being unfair. It's just a few chaps, as you know, who have brought us into this situation. And they are the ones making others start thinking the way things are happening. Not that the others have this kind of thought. No. Tongas are very good people. Lozis are very good people. Northwesterners are very good people. I've got very close friends amongst all these people. Very close friends. I don't even see them like that. So just these few disoriented chaps, they're the problem. So there's nothing between us that is wrong between us and the Tongas, no. Vamsonda Kukabwe, I sympathize with you. You talked about load shedding. Well, when you say, is it a hoax? I don't know what you are really talking about. But I know you think that, I don't know, maybe we are not supposed to be having it because we have power, which unfortunately we are selling instead of it being used in Zambia. It's true, we have power. It's true you can only say you don't have something when you don't have it. But when you have it and you are hiding it, you can't say that you don't have it. You have it, you're hiding it. So the situation we have at the moment is that our country is selling power, which you are supposed to be benefiting from. And that is wrong. Because there is nothing bad in selling the power, but they shouldn't leave us deficit. They shouldn't do that. They should work hard to make sure that they're able to export, but also that we have something ourselves. You know, when you're flying in the plane, when the oxygen runs out and the masks drop, they say that if you're with your child, first take the mask and put it on your nose first. Don't do it and put it on your child. No. First on your nose. Then you have enough time and power to put it on your child. Why do they say that? You should not make yourself deficit. That's not the way life works. So what is happening now, that they're selling power which they can't give us, it's not right. Because our businesses here have closed. They are not that closing, they have closed. People have been frustrated to the worst status that they don't know when power will come. I mean, they're just lying down. So this is a bad way of doing things. Even if they said, what we are selling is very little, it won't change anything. Even if they said that, still what they are doing is wrong. Let even that little bit come here. It will help one or two individuals. That will be better than what it is. So I agree with you, Musonda, and I really sympathize with you. I've talked about food shortages, how we can overcome this thing. For industries, Musonda, we need to make a sovereign wealth fund. And the only way we can find this money is to allow Zambians to own companies or be partners in companies. Because the Zambian money will remain here in Zambia. The foreigners' money will go out where they come from because they know they won't stay here forever. They want to prepare when they go back. So their money will right free go back to where they come from. At the moment, all the money being made in this country is going out. ShopRite, mines, whatever call it, the money is going out. None of us is benefiting. If this money was remaining in this country, government will get enough taxes from it and invest in the sovereign wealth fund, from where we can support a lot of things, SMEs, other industries, because other countries have done it. And one of them, I said it, Chile. That's what they have done. So really, for industries, we need to be serious. We need to ensure or make a law that it doesn't matter what is the company. We either own it 100% or we have Zambian partnership in there and promote our Zambians, individuals. We need to have real rich Zambians from our resources, not from crookedness.
Thank you very much. Honorable Simbao,
So,
it may not be possible for you to just run through all the questions because you had so many questions. May I invite you to make your last remarks. May you also can pick and choose to see which questions could have been important, but may I invite you to make your last remarks?
Yes, I'll quickly do this. The PS talked about FID. We're not against FID. There's no country that is against FDI, I'm sorry. There's no country. If you go that route, again, you won't progress. Because there's so many things that come with FDI. Technology, skills, all those things. You know, you need to pick them from there. So we are not against that. We are center-right, by the way. We are center-right because we believe that everything from other side, there are good things from the left and there are very good things from the right. So we are center-right. The same PS talked about being blocked from campaigning. Oh, believe me, they are wasting their time, believe me. Their problem, if they target the political parties, they are wasting. The frustration is with the Zambians, not with political parties. The Zambians is where the frustration is. And there's no way they can block that because it's a feeling. And they don't know. They will look at your face, think you are happy, but you are not. So that's where the frustration lies. So if they stop public campaigns, unfortunately, it will still work against them completely. Because all they need the Zambians to see is a strong candidate. That's all. And they'll vote for that candidate. So all these things they're doing with Bill 7 is just a waste of time. It's desperation. And you see, the desperation is here. If they don't pass Bill 7, they are definitely losing if they don't pass Bill 7. If they pass Bill 7, their loss might be very small, which they can argue and maybe manipulate. But if they don't pass Bill 7, they are losing, and they know it. So that's where the desperation lies. And we, as the Zambia We Want, we don't support Bill 7. The issue of the Constitution, please understand this quickly. We, the Zambia we want to make sure there is separation of powers between the judiciary, executive, and parliament. We need to do this. For parliament, it's very easy. Just take out the executive out of parliament, and that's it. Parliament will be independent. Judicially, you have to make sure you strengthen the institution that holds the judiciary. And that will happen for the Zambia we want. Once we do this, all these other things that are bad, that are supposed to be independent, SEC, DEC, whatever, all these things will come in line. But as long as you run the country the way it's being run, where the executive is on top of everyone, these things are going to happen. Even the police will work like they are not police people. Yes, you are right. We need actually to stop this business of using money to get into politics. We need to stop it. And the only way you do this is maybe to go to the, I've forgotten, proportional representation. Maybe that's how to do it, because with proportional representation, there's nothing like an individual, presenting himself to people. There's nothing like that. It's the party. Then when the party wins, then they look at who they want, who they think can do the job. So that's the only way we're going to get out. This first past the post system we have is bad. And believe me, from 1964 to today, our government has failed to work. It's because of this system. We must get rid of it. A person talked about forming more parties and more parties. This thing is ideologies. That's what creates this. We as a Zambia we want, we have come with ideas that are unique, that we think can work for this country. And that's why we are projecting ourselves, because we didn't see these ideas in the other political parties. And I believe also the others is the same thing. I believe that's what they think, that they have got a manifesto that is different from all others. Those who have manifestos, mind you, it's not everyone who has manifestos. So we, the Zambia we want, we're asking the Zambian people that, look, you have heard who I am. We have got all people with us with clean hands, experienced people, both in business and politics, with clean hands. That's how we have made this party. And we feel we shall remain clean through and through. whether in government or not in government. There's nothing that will make us go the wrong way. We haven't gone the wrong way so far. And believe me, it happens. Go and read third world to first world, Singapore. That's what they did up to today. There came into power people like us saying we don't want to be corrupted. And that's what Singapore is. So please join us. We are people with no money, believe me, because we don't want to be bankrolled by anyone. Because we know that if you are bankrolled by someone, that's the one who is going to control you. We have refused. Anyone who like us and would like to support us financially, these people with money, they should have no conditions attached. They should be interested in seeing a Zambia for themselves and the rest of the country. Then we'll accept that kind of help. Otherwise, we're asking all the Zambians, help us. You can send us 20 kwacha, 50 kwacha, whatever you have, and we'll receive it, and we'll thank you for it, because it will help us to bring the Zambia you want. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Kapembwa Simbao is at the marathon of media appearance, and he ended one with us tonight. I would like to thank him for the opportunity that he gave us. We'd like to thank him for the sacrifices made and for taking time to explain the mission of Zambia We Want. So, Honorable Kapembwa Simbao, we don't take it for granted. Thank you for coming to the show. I'm still waiting for a chairperson to come, and I think we'll arrange next week that she can just come and speak to the party and how she hopes, together with your team, to steer the party to victory in 2026. So we wish you well. We wish you well in uniting with the opposition. We wish you well in ensuring that your core ideas are bought, are sold into by both your co-leaders in the opposition and by the people of Zambia. So God bless you, and thank you for the opportunity. To our dear viewers, we were hosting Honorable Kapembwa Simbao, an engineer, a former minister, a man that has served 3 presidents, and he's so keen that he's still studying for his PhD as a degree in engineering, a master's in engineering, and is now pursuing a PhD. And he's 66 years old, but you can see how encouraging and how just life never ends. So this is an opportunity for you young people, who want to give up on life very early. There is still achieving for our country. To my team back in Zambia, thank you for the opportunity. Tomorrow, we are hosting Honorable Sebastian Copeland. Remember, he made an appearance a few weeks ago. He has recently made certain new developments that he would like to announce on our program tomorrow. So tomorrow, look forward to the program. We'll have Honorable Sebastian Copeland, the former Member of Parliament for Chembe, and a very experienced man as well, and he has some novel ideas and new developments that he wishes to announce to the country, and you do it on this platform. So God bless you, and see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Lero bwacha bakamba mu kyalo ky'esu kya Zambia ekyaweka enjoy. Abantu bafa bakamba kule mu nfumbwe. More than 20 people balebe pati ni babiri. Bagamba. Fish to arufyanye. People have died. Mumino yabakapokola. The police killing people. Why? In the same government bagamba. Abductions have happened. Bagamba. If you're not with them, it's either you're dead or you're in prison. This government, you're going to change, big man. Fish to Arfianya Pakumika office. Fish to Arfianya. Why me? Missing. Achani Ruba Mwaicho and Dizona. Where is why me? HH, tell us with your government, where is why me? Give us why me. Justice for why me, big man. Wachila mo HH. Wala tupwisha bega kutupwisha bagamba. Katwale kya kulanda big man. My youth. Maana watata. Sambe tuwasevana. Vanessa tua bueni Mujalo chetu Ija Zambia Tua mwana mwempwa Bagao Tua mwana mwempwa Nama objections bagao Owo muteko toaleta Watu lete lama Amazala mush No you can take Kola ipompa tudeka No you can take Apa nomba bane Mufolo pa mufolo Mufolo pa mufolo Wakuvota bane Mufolo pa mufolo Mufolo pa mufolo Wakufuatika Mufolo pa mufolo Mufolo pa mufolo Wakufuatika fuatika Mufolo pa mufolo Mufolo pa mufolo Wenyu taya kwa fwe Mufolo pa mufolo Mufolo pa mufolo Aikona man Mufolo pa mufolo Mufolo pa mufolo Ika ya kwa fwe Mufolo pa mufolo Mufolo pa mufolo Yakuliati kwenyu Mufolo pa mufolo Mufolo pa mufolo Mayona batata Mayona batata Bayuthi Tientuisuli amenso Tientuisuli amenso Batusendela nomba batwipaila na hope Yesu Endika chagwa lungu watubela tinani kwa tila plan B Nomba tuwadishiba plan B aba mmino ya kualesa Bantu banga abalafu mucharo chesu cha Zambia Nibanga abantu abala abducted mucharo chesu cha Zambia Bambire kuli jeje banda Nibanga abantu abala ba prison Abena chitotela chilangwa Wonze baba prison netunguru shina shimbi na shimbi Muli one government ya kwa HH Abantu na abafa mweleza Aikata nomba baikata na kulietika chakwa lungu watukwatile plan B Abakubo vya vyo mufulo big man Mufulo pa mufulo Bilabine matzendela etika chakwa lungu Apa nomba bane Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Wakuvota bane Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Wakufuatika Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Wakufuatika fuatika Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Wenyu taya kwa fwe Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Aikona man Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Ita ya kwa fwe Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Yakuliati kwenyu Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo HH does not mean well for Mother Zambia. Zambia to Asebana, this is not the Mother Zambia that we were left with by our ancestors, our forefathers who fought so hard to liberate us. Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, Nalumino Mundia, Mama Julia Chikamoneka, Simon Mwansaka Pwepwe, they fought so hard to put this country on the map, to put this country where it is today. No man would destroy this country because we believe in unity. One Zambia, one nation, and we shall together we will change, and we are going to change this government. My name is Blaze Zambia.